Hey you guys, welcome back. It's UnicornDustDesigns and it is Wednesday, which means we are going to be working on some wood signs. Whoop, whoop. So if you like DIYs, if you like crafts, if you like wood signs, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe and turn on that bell so you are notified every time I post a new video, which is usually Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and sometimes hauls on Sundays. So about this video, you guys, as you saw in the picture, we are going to be creating an awesome, sorry, I was trying to think of what I was supposed to say. We are going to be creating an awesome sugar skull wood round today. This, you guys, turned out so beautiful, and it is going to be so easy for you to create on your own at home. I will make sure that I link all of the supplies that I use down in the comment box, description box, as well as like any paint colors, all that stuff that I use. So that will all be found down below. I am also going to add a little bonus video to this. I usually just do one wood sign on each of my videos, but I want you guys, if you're starting off your business, if you already have a business, I want you guys to be able to make some coin for the holidays. So I am going to be showing you how to make a DIY kit. These, I will tell you the cost in the video. You can make 50% profit on these, and that is a great way if you are, especially if you're starting your wood sign business out, to invest that money back into your business if you need supplies or tools or things like that. So I'm going to show you that in this video, so make sure you keep watching till the end. And with that said, grab your snack and let's get going. All right, you guys, our sugar skull wood round. Here she is, looking all beautiful, stunning. This is gonna look so good, you guys. So, as with anything, I have my wood round that I purchased at Home Depot. This is the 17.5-inch round. I already sanded it. I sand with 80 grit and then smooth it down with 220. I am using true black stain. You could also use ebony if you need a black, but this one is like super black, you guys. I am also using a microfiber cloth. I just cut those up into little 2x2 squares, and I love using these because they hold a lot of the stain, and they don't, it doesn't like drip off of it or anything. Of course, you can use foam brushes, shirts, rags, I mean, whatever you want. This is just what I've always used, and I really like it. I've tried every way of staining, and this is by far the best one. I don't wipe any of the stain off. I'm like almost rubbing it into the wood, if that makes sense. And then we're gonna get our sides. Make sure when you are sanding your piece of wood that you get the sides of these wood rounds, because they are super rough. And if you try to stain them, if they are not smooth, they just look super sketch, you guys. So take the time and sand the entire thing down. I also stain the back of my signs as well. And then when I am done with these, I prop them up against something. You don't want to just lay it flat, because obviously one side won't get as dry as the other, and you will know your signs are dry when you can rub your hand over it and it doesn't feel oily, and you will not have any residue like show up on your hand, like the stain color will not transfer to your hand. So make sure you give it plenty of dry time, about 24 hours. Now, you guys, sugar skull. Dollar Tree is killing it, y'all. This is from Dollar Tree, okay? There's also a dude one, and he is wearing a top hat. So go snag you some of these. So I'm using a brown paint. I will attach all the colors in the description box. And I am going to just lightly coat this with the brown paint. And make sure you guys don't like go heavy-handed in there. You're gonna have a lot of wasted paint go through those holes. And I am using my paintbrushes from Walmart. I actually took a picture of them, so I will make sure that I try and find those and link them in the description box. So you guys, we are trying Crackle Medium on this. Few tips and tricks for Crackle. First, this layer needs to be completely dry. So this brown is completely dry. I am now applying the Crackle Medium. So, couple things. This is my first time successfully using it because I tried to do it on chalk paint first when the bottle clearly states it is for acrylic paint. So, make sure if you're using this, you are using acrylic paint. So that's why I went to Walmart and grabbed some of these apple barrel colors, only 50 cents each, so you can't beat that. And now I'm applying the Crackle paint over. Now, usually I would get like my heat gun after I was done and kind of do a fast drying, but it mentioned on the bottle like not to do it in humidity, so I didn't know if the heat would affect how it would turn out or not. So I decided to just let it dry on its own, just naturally, and then go back to it. This has to be completely dry before you can put your next layer on. And it says on the bottle to use contrasting colors. So that's why I decided to paint the bottom brown, and then the top we are going to put white. And it makes sense why you would want contrasting colors, but I'm sure it would be fine. So here I go, you guys. So I'm dragging it up. It almost has like a drag, I want to say feel texture. Like when you put your brush on it, it feels like you're like getting caught on something almost, and you can't like go back and forth on the same one, if that makes sense at all. So you just got to like do your coats, because if you try to go back on top of like a coat you already did, it's going to give you that like dragging feel. I am not a painter, obviously, because I cannot explain this whatsoever. But you can already see like this is exactly how it's going to look. It gives you that aged look, like this has been sitting outside weathering, and it looks so cool. Like I want to use this Crackle Medium on everything, and I just think it goes with the whole skull so well because it looks like it's cracked, like it's vintage. Like I just love it. And you see how that brown peeks through like the cracks and the like, I don't even know, you guys. This is so cool. So look at that. And this isn't even dry yet. But you see like the crackle, it looks aged. It looks like old wood that you would find outside. Ooh, I love her. What are we gonna name her? What do you think her name should be, you guys? Because she cute. Okay, so I wanted her flower to pop, so I'm using, I think this is called like Diva Pink. And this is also, I think, an apple barrel, not sure. But I'm just going in with a smaller brush. I'm gonna paint that. I do 2 coats of this pink so that I get a brighter flower. And then I'm gonna also go in with a green color and just ever so slightly outline those little leaves so that you see them, because they kind of like blend in to the skull if you don't. So here I go. Am I gonna show you this? No. Come on now. Oh, there we go, girl. So look at how much brighter it looks with 2 coats on it. And then here's the green, just really light outline of the green. I didn't want to paint this sugar skull. I mean, get on with your bad self if you want to, but I just wanted this like super classic and white, and I love it. And I dropped a green paintbrush on there. Okay, so she needs to be cleared, and so does our board. I want to clarify. I like to clear the back of my wood signs first, because I don't like when I paint and do my design and then put my board face down, because there's like so much residue on like my tables and stuff like that that I don't want to chance messing it up. So I just always do the back first, and it saves you time too, because while this is drying, you could be working on something else. So that is why I am doing the back first. And I am going to also be doing our I am speeding up the process of drying, you guys, and I have my blow dryer on cool air, okay? I'm not using hot, just trying to speed this up because I was doing it last minute. And we will set her to the side as well. Make sure you also get the sides of your board as well. And then I am just using this rack from Dollar Tree because I was afraid it was going to like get in the cracks and then get stuck to the paper. But this hopefully will be a door hanger, so I wanted to protect the skull as well as the wood round. So that is why I decided to coat her with Helmsman. And you guys, this is water-based, okay? I have this linked in the description box. You want to get water-based because it will not yellow your white. So that is what I'm using. This is also clear satin. You could get it on Amazon. You could get it at most of your hardware stores. And now look at her. She looks so good. I'd go on a date with her for sure. Look at how cute. I can't wait to play around with the top hat guy too. So run, you guys, and get those. So I wasn't recording when I did the D-hooks, but you guys, I've done the D-hooks in almost all my wood round videos. I say all my wood round videos. There's only been 2. But I will just link one above if you want to go there and see how I do that. And then I usually hot glue, but since this was fabric and it was wired ribbon, I decided to tie it in a knot because it had a strong hold to it. I didn't want to use the hot glue on the fabric. I don't know why. Yeah, I just went with it, okay? So this is how I did it. Now I want to make a bow. So that is why I have like the skull and my decal out, because I want to see how much room I'm going to have to make that bow. And it'll also give me a guide of how big. So I'm just looping this around. This bow is also, this ribbon is from the Dollar Tree. Can you believe it? So I am just wrapping these around. I think there's like 3 or 4 loops total. There was like an extra loop in there. I had to hide it. But so I'm gonna fold this in half eventually. Yes, there we go. Fold it in half to find my center. Then I'm going to grab my scissors and I am going to basically cut little notches, but do not go all the way to the middle. I would say it's probably like maybe 1/2 inch on this ribbon, and I think these are like 2 inches wide. So if you see, I got little cuts in there. And then we're gonna get our zip tie. You can also use string if you want, jute, whatever. But I swear by my zip ties, you guys. You could get those at the Dollar Tree too. These black ones though, I stole from my husband. They're like little mini zip ties and I love using them, so. All right, so there that is. We got that zip tie on. Now we're just going to take out our bows, and we'll have 3 on each side. I should have, if I would have looped it again, I would have had 4, because I did find like a random 4th loop in there somewhere. I don't know how that happened, but I like the 3, so I kind of just like stuffed it back in. Nobody will know, except you guys, of course. So look at how cute, and you can totally see the sugar skulls on this ribbon, which I love. Like, it doesn't look like just chaos. Like, you can actually see the bases on there, which is super cute. Okay, now gosh, hello, big forehead. Jeez Louise. I'm a hot mess this week, y'all. Like, seriously hot mess. I am finishing this right now, and it is Wednesday at 3 p.m. Like, oh, your girl, she's a hot mess. don't know why I'm still playing around with this ribbon. You know, I always think, see there, I was like, oh crap, there's 4 pieces of ribbon right here. But, and then I tried like fluffing it out, but yeah, I'm not like one of, you know, the big giant bows that are usually like more around the holidays. I don't know if I'm that kind of a big bow girl, you know? I think I just like it. No, let's stuff that one back in. Let's just stuff it back in. I always think that I edit these videos like pretty good and I go over them and then I find sections like this where I'm like, wow, you could have cut that out or you could have sped it up so people don't have to hear you talk for like 5 minutes or so, you know? Yeah, no, Sammy, that doesn't look cute. Tuck her back in. Yes, so that's what I did. I hid it. We don't need that one. That's like an extra pinky toe that we do not need at all. How do you guys like this frame, like how I'm shooting the video, because I keep going back and forth with it. Okay, so now hopefully I was like, that looks plain. Well, so I am going to play around with this skull, which these are from the Dollar Tree too, or this one, which I took off some flowers from the Dollar Tree. And obviously you guys have seen the pictures. I decided to go with the skull. But before that, I was like, let me paint this pink and see how this goes. Because, I mean, I was digging it, but everybody that I asked for opinions said the glittery skull, so that's what I went with. Tell me down below, do you like the pink? Or do you like what I ended up going with, which is the glitter skull? That one was also much bigger too. I'm all looking at it like, yeah. Tell me what you guys think. Would you have gone pink? All right, so now we are doing our stencil. I made this off my Cameo 4. I am using 651 vinyl, and yeah, I just made this myself. I will link the fonts down below because I got it at defont.com. And now I am using a makeup sponge for this one because it's a chalk paint I got on clearance like when I first started making wood signs, and it's like a textured chalk paint. I highly doubt I'll be able to find a link, but if I do, I will put it down below. So I didn't want to use the roller because I didn't really know like how it would affect the paint. So I just went in with the makeup sponge. I did have to do 2 coats of this to make it bold and vibrant. And when I say textured, like when you take the stenciled off, it's almost like raised up a little bit and it feels almost like a sandpaper, if that makes sense. So, you guys, this happens sometimes. I took my vinyl off and it left the vinyl like marking on it. Like you can see, I'm gonna show you right here. See how you can see where the vinyl was? Like you could see the square of it. It took off a layer of that stain. Doesn't always happen, but sometimes, like right now, it did, and it kind of like took up some of my wood grain. But you know what? I used to get so bent out of shape about stuff like that. Now I just try and figure out, okay, how can I fix this? Like, how can I make this better so I don't have to start it all over again? And my thought was get 220 sandpaper, and I'm gonna just distress this down a little bit. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason because it looks so good distressed. It kind of goes with the skull because the skull is weathered and all that stuff. So I started on the opposite side of the words because I wanted to distress that down first to match what the vinyl had taken off, if that makes sense. So I just go over this slightly, make sure to get my corners, clean that up, and then now I am doing my clear coat on the top. I want to make clear that I do not ever put clear on the top of my sign before I paint. Always after. Make sure to get the sides. You do not want cloudy globs of clear on your board, especially if you're going to try and sell it. So get those good, okay? And then again, you can let this dry. You can speed up the process with your blow dryer, whatever it may be. So now we're back over here. Our board's done. It's dry. Your girl's gonna be extra, and I'm putting little diamonds in the skull's eyeball. Can you see that? You know your girl's got to be extra. I mean, come on now. Shoot. Get that bling. I love bling. I can't wait to be like a super old lady one day, and I'm just gonna rock the bling and like take my dazzler everywhere with me and try to bedazzle people. All right, so attaching this skull, I'm using E6000. Now, I've mentioned this a million times. E6000 has like a jelly consistency, so it will not dry down. It takes almost 24 hours for E6000 to dry down. So I get my hot glue gun, but you know what, you guys? My big one, it broke. So I'm using this smaller Surebonder one, and it just does not pump out the hot glue fast enough that it definitely ended up like drying before I can lay it down. So I couldn't get it to stick. But then I went back in and just like, I tried pumping out that hot glue as fast as I could, and then it ended up sticking. So thank goodness, because your girl was about to start tripping, okay? I really need a replacement for my bigger glue gun because I love this fine tip one, but now I'm like, all right, hold it in. So now we're finishing her up, you guys. Putting some hot glue and sticking her on, and she is done, and she is beautiful, and she is ready to go. Hopefully somebody loves her and gives her a home, because I think this is super cool. All right, Halloween DIY kit, you guys. This is how you are going to make some coin, okay? And these can be done for any season. This is the one that I saw. I saw it on Pinterest, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a great idea. This is all the stuff you're going to need. So these are 1x4s. You need one 10.5 inch long, and then those three are 3.5 inches long. I created these decals on my Cameo, and a ghost, a pumpkin, and Frankenstein. Then you will give them these. They're 50 cents each, okay? So we have 4 colors. You will also need to make a trick-or-treat decal, 4 actually foam brushes, sandpaper. This little wood stick is in a huge pack from Dollar Tree, and I used raffia, but you can also use ribbon. So if you guys didn't want to give them a whole bottle of paint, you could squeeze them in those. Those are from Dollar Tree, but seriously, save your time and just give them the whole bottle. And then if they make more purchases of DIY kits from you, then they can maybe like not get the paint, and you could charge them a little less. So with your DIY kit, you guys, you need to make a video. You need to post it somewhere on your page, on a link, on a website, or whatever it may be to direct your customers to. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. So right here, I'm just taking the black acrylic paint. I'm coating this. This was a scrap piece of wood, so it is super rough on the bottom, so I do not end up painting the entire thing. And you don't have to paint the entire bottom if you don't want to either, because it is going to be sitting on your surface. So the sandpaper, this is if you want a distressed look to your little Halloween decoration. You do not have to do the sandpaper. It is just there as an option. And then of course I create a big old mess. Now we are going to take our trick or treat decal. You want to make sure that you run over it with, you know, a library card, a debit card, something like that, so that you make sure it is sticking to your transfer paper. And obviously I need a better transfer paper when giving this to my customers, which I would use, trying to use up this silhouette transfer paper. So we are going to get that. You are going to put that on your piece of wood, And then we are going to rub that down, make sure she is stuck really good to our wood. And if you ever have issues with, you know, your letters not sticking, which happen, you just need to put a little bit more pressure on it. It'll be fine. They will stick. This is permanent vinyl. All right. Now our base for our sign is done. Now we are going to start with our little baby pieces. So we are using our orange paint, and this is going to be our little pumpkin, which is super adorable. Again, scrap piece of wood, so like, these are rough. You know what I mean? And like I said, I showed three sponges in the beginning, but you actually need 4 because obviously you're giving them 4 different color paints. So keep that in mind. As we are doing this, I will let you know what the cost is to make this. So assuming you buy like a really good piece of 1x4, and then this will be the price. And I'm saying like a 1x4 that's around $4.50. They do have way cheaper than that, like maybe $2. So you would even be making more money off of it. But I totaled everything up, you guys. And this is with a nice piece of 1x4. You would spend on materials, that's including just giving them the bottles of the paint, $9.61. And I like how I'm super exact, around $9.61. And you can sell these for $20. And that's 50% profit right there. And remember, you're not painting, you're not doing any of this stuff. You are packaging this kit up for them and they are doing the work themselves. So $20, come on, like everybody, kids can do this, you know, girls can do this, have a wine night with your girlfriends, do it with like your husband or your wife or whatever. And these are going to be great. People are at home right now. So get creative with your DIY kits. People will buy them, you guys. So I hope that this helps some of you, especially starting out your business, make some money to put back into your business. So right here, I am just taking our decals that we made and we are putting them on. I forgot, I should have made the eyes like a little bit easier on this Frankenstein because customers will have to weed his eyes out. That sounded really weird, but I would just give them like a toothpick or something because it's literally like a couple pieces. And you were gonna just do this for all 3 of them. And make sure you guys, when you're making this DIY video, you know, have fun with it, especially if this is like your first one. You want people to like come back to it. You know, you want people to be like, oh, wow, that was fun. The person doing the video was fun and thorough and whatever. Because a lot of the times people have no idea what vinyl is. They don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like, so make sure that you are explaining everything that you're doing. And then the next time they buy a DIY kit from you, they will have more knowledge on the process. So I am just using my heat gun to kind of speed it up for this video, but this is where, you know, I'd be going and grabbing another bottle of wine. I said bottle, I should have said glass. Oops. You know, if you were like hanging out with your girlfriends or whatever, just take those, let them dry naturally if you want, or if you're like me and impatient, then grab a blow dryer, help yourself out there, dry it up. So this is what I was telling you, the Frankenstein, his little eyes. So I would just put something in there. Okay, so drying them up, because with acrylic paint, I find that if I take the vinyl off before it's completely dry, it doesn't like rip up any of the paint. I know that sounds weird, but okay. So, and I'm just showing you right here too. These are just options. You could distress your little pieces. You don't have to. I only did it with the pumpkin just to kind of show you what I was doing. Now we're gonna do the stem to the pumpkin. Now you guys, I am hot gluing this. You can also drill a hole so that they literally don't have to use any of their own materials. Like if someone didn't own a hot glue gun, you can drill a little hole in there. You just make sure the stem that you send away with them fits in there. But I just hot glued mine for video reasons. And then I'm getting raffia. You can also include like a little green piece of fabric in there, or green ribbon, or whatever you want. Twine they can use. I just chose this. I thought it looked a little bit more rustic with the raffia. And all of that stuff, you guys, you could get at the Dollar Tree. You know what I'm saying? So just be smart about your shopping when you're doing these. Look for more cost-effective things. If you want me to go ahead and like link where you could get like bulk sponges, things like that, let me know, because I did price around. And look at how cute. Like for $20, somebody, a lot of people actually, are going to want this kit for $20. And it's a great price too to like start with, you know, like don't try to overprice something, because you want people to find your business. You want people to be like, oh my gosh, that's a great price. And guess what? Your business is then going to stand out. So you guys, here we are done. I hope you guys had fun with me making these signs. I hope that you learned a lot with the DIY kit. If you guys end up doing any of these, please tag me in on Instagram. I love seeing it. And let me know if you're going to be trying this DIY kit. I can't wait to like figure out more ways of doing those. So I hope you guys have a good week. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Bye.